Thank you so much for coming to our second annual Dress for Success event. We are very blessed to have two outstanding retailers joining us today. Ann Taylor, whom we all know and love, and the Men's Wearhouse is also here. So what we're going to do is kind of talk through a little do's and don'ts of dressing for success, managing your brand and your impression. And then we're going to show you some looks for spring. I've previewed them. They look amazing. For the most part, I'm going to have Brent, Dina, and Yasser from the Men's Wearhouse. Brent and Dina are from Ann Taylor, kind of talk you through the looks and talk you through a lot of the advice that we're going to be sharing today. We really want to encourage, if you have questions, we had some great questions last year, such as, I can't remember many of them off the socks. Okay, to wear or not to wear, socks or underwear. See, you'll hear it here first. But before we get started, one thing I really want to do is acknowledge our event planner, Jennifer. So Jennifer, wave your hand. The whole look and feel of this event is entirely kudos to her. So thank you so much for your hard work. So I will pass the mic in a minute. Brent, I think we'll have you kind of get started with first impressions, image management. We kind of talked a little bit about this last year. I don't know if you want, you and Dina can kind of tag team.
Go over it together. Perfect. Well, hello, y'all. This is going to be very casual, very easy for you guys. We want you guys to be able to touch this, so don't feel nervous about anything, okay? So first impressions matter. So what you see is kind of what you get a lot of times. So a lot of times if people interview and they're not dressed properly, that is the first check minus, okay? If you're not wearing the right shoe, if you're not wearing a full suit, if you're wearing something too short or too tight. It shows that you're not serious about what you're interviewing for. So it's very important that the look is correct and proper for what, and I repeat, what you are interviewing for, okay? Keep that in mind. Dina?
Hi, how are you? My name is Dina, and I'm an enrollment specialist here, now stylist for Ann Taylor. I'm a little shy here. Just to piggyback on what Brent said, one of the key things that I always stress to students is control the controllables, and that means control your wardrobe. The first thing that people see is how you look. I'm sorry, we're in a vain society, how you look. And one of the takeaways, I'm going to keep this very brief, one of the takeaways was I did a benefit with Brent about a month ago at the Chicago Bar Association, and I had the pleasure of meeting Anita Alvarez. And one of the key points that she said was the person that they saw didn't quite fit the bill. They didn't care what was on the resume. Anita Alvarez couldn't get past the girl's wrinkled shirt. So basically the girl had the credentials, but she could not get past the girl's wrinkled shirt. And guess what? She did not get the job. There's a lot of information out there to teach you how to dress. You have the internet, and you have us, and you have, of course, Emily here, which the services are available as part of your college experience here at National Louis University. If you don't know, please ask.
All right. See, yeah. Are you guys ready for the fashion show? Let's get a little bit more woo-woo. Okay,
Some
all right.
enthusiasm here.
Awesome. Okay, so we just want to speak a little bit about their looks. I wanted them to kind of walk so you guys got an idea. I didn't want to talk over their walking, okay, because that's kind of rude. So these are all looks that we feel would be great for interviews. So, Felicia, tell us what you are going to school for and kind of why you feel this look might work for you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Felicia. This is my last year here at National Louis. My major is elementary education with a concentration in science and social studies. And I feel this is a great look because, number one, I feel really comfortable in it. The pants fit really well, the suits. Sometimes we feel like suits might feel kind of weird on women.
Or manly.
Or kind of manly, but this feels very feminine, very me. I feel really comfortable, and I love it.
Yeah. So we chose this really because for her, it was the most comfortable for her with a pant. Another thing that I really liked about the way this fits on her, I'm gonna have you turn to the side a little bit. It's a straight leg, which for her, because of her height, doesn't make her seem so short. Okay, so trouser legs, if you're more petite, just so you know, can make you look a little shorter. So just be careful on your leg shape. Okay. Also, the jacket fits her very well. It's a one button, which she is a little bit bustier. Okay. Girls that have the bust, you all know what that is all about. Okay. It's okay. We gotta talk about it. One buttons are good if you're a little bit bustier because it sits below. Okay, and it's easy to close if you need to close it. Okay, and it's comfortable. So keep those things in mind. Okay. All right, Liz, let's talk about you.
Hello, my major is elementary education with a concentration in math. I like this outfit because it's very appropriate and very comfortable.
So I really like this look on her because for a couple different reasons. A, I love the color. So she's going into education, and so you can do a little bit something different when you're going in for education. So it was like a business look. We'd probably maybe keep it a little bit more simple. Okay, maybe not go with such a bright color. Maybe we'd go with maybe a black and white look for her, okay? The other great thing about this is the pencil skirt for her shape works really well, okay? And it hits her right at the knee for her is really good, okay? You do want to stay away from anything that is about 2 inches above your knee because that does not look professional. When you sit, it rides up. Okay, you can do below the knee. The midi skirt this year, okay, and it comes about to here about 2 inches below the knee is actually very in and on trend, and if you find it, it's great. It will not make you look older, okay? And if you are a little more mature, it'll actually, it's an updated look on a longer skirt. All right, perfect. And we're gonna talk to Riley next.
Hi, I'm Riley Wright, and I am going to be graduating in June from the Applied Behavioral Sciences. And thank you. And I'm also the Student Veteran Liaison. It's a volunteer position, but I love working with other students that are veterans. And this look I love because it says classy yet professional, and if you take the jacket off, you can go, and the belt, you can go out at night and still have a great time.
So it's versatility. It was really key for her. She is a mother. Okay, you forgot to mention that, homegirl. Okay, it's really important to get the most bang for your buck in general, and that's with all three of these looks. But the really great thing is that's versatile. So she could do this, go to an interview, and then she could go out afterwards with her friends, with her husband, and all those kind of great things, and feel comfortable all at the same time. The other thing I'd like to point out is, see this little slit right here? There's a little white X that comes when you get these things. Please cut them out. Okay, we cut them out for you guys. Okay, I didn't want to make it obvious, but that's another thing I just want to point out. Anytime you get anything, make sure you're cutting out all your little tags and things like that to make sure that you look good. All right, ladies, you may retire. All right, next we're gonna do the men from Men's Warehouse.
Not too serious. Let's start. We've been really happy to be here today, presenting Mansur House. We got three gentlemen, and actually this is basically what we dress for job interview or for business related. We'll start with the first one. We have a standard basic navy blue suits. Basically when you're going for job interview, you want to look too formal, very dressy, not too loud, very conservative. Start with dark navy blue. Basically when you're going for a job interview, you like to look kind of like traditional guy. First thing, we'll put like a nice, clean, crisp white shirt, nice, kind of stylish striped tie, a little bit more burgundy, would just add a little bit more power to the look. Basically, when you're going for a job interview, is you carry experience, but your look is very important. Will carry you on and make you look more appeal to the people you interview with. Basically, when they're wearing blues, a lot of people, they think it's black shoes will be perfect for everything. Does not. Basically, burgundy shoes or brown shoes would be the most popular look for just a dark navy blue suit. Here we have now the new trend in the suit, particularly business. It's basically, we're going back to two-button, very slim look, a little bit more. Side vents, which is more like European style, a little bit more narrow leg. It's actually give kind of a little bit nicer look versus something a little bit more big and anybody in general. Look at the suit details. It's made very different. Very softer shoulder pads, a little bit more narrow. A lapel, it's kind of skinny, so give him very nice edge looking. That's for the first gentleman. Second gentleman, again, job interview, basically black, gray, navy, or something with a very subtle pinstripe. This is here, it's a very conservative, it's a dark gray. It's a nice for a job interview. Again, if you're gonna have more than multiple interview for the same company, we preferred all the time to stick with the white shirt for the most important interview. And then you can do gray or blue for a secondary person you're gonna meet, but basically you wanna stick with just a white traditional. Here, gray, it's a nice color, it's a neutral. Here you have the options, you can do either black shoes or you can do like a brown shoes. You can do like a nice narrow color, which is very popular right now, the narrow color, very skinny tie, that's a very popular, looks great on him by the way. Again, two-button, side vent, very slim look, a little bit more, looks great, and especially younger crowd a little bit more, looks perfect. Third one particularly, we're not rolling the pinstripe out. You can do a pinstripe for job interview, but you have to keep in mind to keep it simple, keep it very narrow, not too bold, because you want to be like, look too aggressive for the person you're gonna interview with. So a gray like this here, you can have the options, you can do white shirts, gray shirt, blue shirts. We decide to do gray shirts, and then we'll mix it up a little bit with more like a nice gray and a red tie. Particularly when someone wearing red, it's more like a power looks, particularly. It's someone just have so much confidence in himself, walk into someone and say, you know what, I carry myself very well. It's exactly the looks. Again, it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are particularly. Now the trend basically going to two buttons, nice slim look a little bit more, side vents, a little bit more taper pants. Again, option black shoes. Basically when you're going for shoes, make sure you have the matching belt to go with it. A lot of guys, they can wear brown shoes and have a black belt, or the opposite. That's how it works. Basically have a burgundy shoes, a burgundy belt, black, 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 black. Looks great, and this is just a few looks for job interview. Basically with all this, we try to give you an idea like when someone going for job interview for the first time. Keep it simple, look very conservative at the same times, have something looks nice and clean, a little bit more fitted on you, and of course your experience and the knowledge you have, it will carry on with the interview, but the most important thing is the look. It's very important when you're doing, or you're looking for a job, or you're hunting for anything particularly. Look, it's very important. Thank you.
Next, we're going to have Elizabeth come and talk to you about why she's here with the veterans and what she's looking for when she's looking for people for interviews and things like that, too. All right?
Great. Well, thank you, Brent, and thank you, Deanna, for the nice introduction and for having me here. I work with Brent to style me, and he's the only person I've ever let choose my clothes. He's like, no, that's too grandma, you can't do that. So then he makes me dress appropriately. So I get help from my friends. My name is Elizabeth Penix. I work for the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm a manager, and I run a few different programs. All of that aside, I have a very varied background professionally. I started out as a young kid in fast food and definitely wore different clothes than I'm wearing today. So I'll talk to you a little bit about different industries and different standards. Then I went to law firms while I was in school. Then I was in the military, where it's very important, and they're very particular about how exactly things have to look. So that really structured my look quite a bit. And then after that, I went to a software company. So that was extremely casual, and I could never get that casual. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Now I'm in state government, which tends to be a little bit more conservative. So I'll cover the gamut. The main point that I'm going to make to you today is dress for the job you want. So if it's at that company, look at who are the management. If that's where you want to go, dress for that job, because those are the people that are going to have their eyes on you when you walk in the door. Now, like I said, there's different requirements for different industries, but the bottom line, no matter where you're going for an interview and who you're talking to, there's some very basic things. And I've seen this, the only reason why I mention them is because I've seen the faux pas related to these points. So be clean. Don't smell bad, and clean your teeth, like floss them, okay? So that's a very basic point, but you'd be surprised. So be clean, smell nice, but don't overdo it on the perfume. I can't tell you that's a little bit obnoxious when you can smell them coming before you actually see them. So, and plus, you never know who you're interviewing with. They may have sensitivities. It's just kind of considerate. Don't wear too much perfume. Hair. You have to look like you did something with your hair. Now, I know there's longer hairstyles are in for men. That's fine. Just make sure it's combed. It's maybe styled with a little bit of gel. Ladies, if your hair is frizzy naturally, and mine tends to like poof up when it's raining, just carry a little thing of hairspray or something and just make sure it looks poised, because your hair is going to really mess your look up if it doesn't look right. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but whatever style you manage to go in with, make sure it looks like you did something with it. All right, colors versus not. You saw the suits that the ladies and the gentlemen wore, and they were all dressed very conservatively and appropriately for a business interview in a business like the state government or a corporation, or jobs that are more maybe client-facing, like sales. But that is not necessarily the look that you might have to go in with if you're going to apply for maybe a fashion design job. You could have a lot more personality. You can put a lot more color into it. But my advice from where I stand is always err on the side of more conservative, because there's plenty of time for personality once you get in the door. So when you're going in there, err on the side of more neutral colors, a neutral palette. And if anything pops, maybe the tie, or maybe a simple piece of jewelry or something like that. But try not to be too loud when you walk in the door, because people will judge you, unfortunately, and might make a wrong judgment, because we all love to wear color. I wouldn't wear this to an interview, I'll tell you that, because people will be like, what is she doing with those shoes and that jacket? And I love colors, so when I go in for an interview, I'll wear a blue suit, a white shirt or some sort of muted blouse, and very simple jewelry. Shoes, they already made the point about shoes, but I totally agree. Make sure that they're not broken, they're not scuffed, they're not tennis shoes. Most of the time, tennis shoes are not appropriate for an interview, maybe unless you're going to a kids' camp counselor job or something like that. Pantyhose versus no pantyhose. That is a generational conversation. Hosiery always. Always wear hosiery. Because once you go into that, once you get the job, because you've worn hosiery and you've told them you know how to dress conservatively and appropriately, and nobody's judged you because you haven't worn pantyhose, and you see around you, maybe once you're in the job, that maybe in the summertime people don't wear pantyhose, then go right ahead. You don't have to. But it's all going to be dependent on the company's policy, and if you don't know that company's policy to the minutia before you walk in that door, wear pantyhose, okay? And now, another conversation for women is pantsuit versus skirt suit. Depending on what part of the country you're in, I know down south, they don't like ladies in pantsuits. It's too manly, it's too aggressive, it's too, pick the word. But up here in Chicago, it is perfectly great to wear a pantsuit. It's a power thing, it's perfectly fine. So I'm just letting you know, if you're going somewhere where you haven't been before, maybe do a little cultural research and see what's appropriate for that region. Because if you even Google like New York interview versus Atlanta interview, you're going to get different results on what you should be wearing and what you should be doing with your hair and your nails, etc. Speaking of nails, just do neutral, but do take the time to get a manicure or do one yourself. Because a simple little clear polish on your nail will tell me that your hands are ready for professional presentation. And you know, if you're like me and you used to bite your nails, go get them done and then just do them and stop biting your nails. Like, that's the point. I quit like 10 years ago, but I'm telling you, it was gross. Putting myself out there a little bit. And then the last point I'll make, I'm gonna give you some tips on what you must do to make a good impression. Do research the company. I already told you that. Because if you see the pictures in the company's website of people wearing certain clothes, you'll get an idea of what the culture at that company is. And especially look at their events, like their in-company events, like maybe when they do little gatherings or little powwows, and you'll see like what the everyday feel is, and that will inform your decision. But ultimately, like if you're looking at the CEO and you're looking at different profiles of the key players in that company, look at what they're wearing for their suits, because they're going to be putting on their best face because it's going on the website, and try to model that. But always err on the side of conservative instead of personality-driven dressing, especially if you have like a funky taste, okay? Do make eye contact when you walk in that door, and anybody that you meet from that company, smile, make eye contact. Because there are many times when I have sent people out to look at the person and walk by them and ask them a question just to see how they're going to relate to somebody that's not important to them. Because that's important on how they're going to fit in and how they're going to treat my fellow coworkers and my staff. So do greet everybody, at least acknowledge their presence and make eye contact, because a lot of people, even if you're shy and you don't want to make eye contact, that can be perceived as being not trustworthy. So make eye contact and smile. And last but not least, do send thank you cards after the interview. Thank you emails are sometimes appropriate. I would always send a thank you card, because there's nothing like getting a real piece of mail anymore. Emails can go into spam. Who is that person? They might not remember your last name. They may. Send a card, because that card, they're going to have to open it. They're going to have to take it out. They're going to have to read it. Send a thank you card. You all, I'm sure, will look fabulous in your interviews. Good luck, and thank you, Men's Warehouse and Ann Taylor, for putting on a great event.
All right, we have one more round of women's looks. They're going to be a little bit more business casual, but we'll discuss them after they walk down the runway. So here come the ladies. All right. How do you like their looks? Woohoo! Awesome. All right. So I guess we're going to start over here again. So we chose this look. It actually is, it pairs back to actually the suit that she wore before. Okay. So you're going to see this was the suit jacket that she wore. And we heard it back to a skirt that would match with that. Okay. So that's what I talked about, getting versatility out of your wardrobe. You can buy some key pieces that'll go back to other things. So keep that in mind when you're shopping, because this will help you when you get the job. So this was something that she could wear with hosiery. Okay. When she maybe lands the job, when she's starting to teach and things like that, or maybe she saw that they didn't dress up so much. Okay, like Elizabeth spoke to. Okay, then she could wear this for the second interview. Perfectly appropriate. We decided to put a scarf around her neck because one key thing I want to point out is that if you expose your décolletage, make sure that it's tasteful, but sometimes certain things don't work. Like this is a keyhole. It's cute and nice, but it might not be appropriate. Okay, so keep it covered when you need to. When you're home, let it hang out. Okay, awesome. All right. So Riley is wearing this. I just love this outfit. First of all, I love the print here. This is the thing about you can do a little conservative on the top and the print on the bottom. So this really works well for her in a couple ways. The colors are great. Okay, it's still conservative, and again, this could be used for a second interview depending on if you're going for marketing. Maybe you're going to go for a preschool teacher or a grade school teacher interview. The length is perfect here as well. So it would fit within that realm for those kind of things, okay? Looks great from the back too. Okay, not too tight, all right? Always want to keep that in mind too. If you are a little bit more blessed in the back, you know, you do want to watch how skirts and things like that fit you. A-lines are better if you're a little bit more curvy. They do tend to make your shape look a little less fuller, okay? Because I'm a little full in the behind, y'all. If I wear a skirt, y'all, tell you what. Anyway, but keep that in mind when you're dressing yourself. Make sure that those things aren't too tight in your hips or in your buttocks, okay? But these are perfect. And the one thing I actually like to point out, just turn to the back, see how this pattern, it distracts from if it were too tight, okay? Keep that in mind too. Patterns are good if you're a little bit more curvy. They can work. You just got to make them work right. Okay. And last but not least, Liz. All right. Love this. Love the dress. Okay. Really easy. Take off the jacket real quick so they can see the dress. Really nice dress. So she could maybe wear this like after work or even in the office if she doesn't do any client facing, or maybe if she's a teacher, she can probably wear it because of the cap sleeve. Okay, it's really appropriate. She's got a jacket that she could actually pair back to her previous suit, or this would actually work as well with her black suit jacket, versatilely with this too. So pieces that mix and match, okay? So maybe she found out, again, she didn't have to dress up so much for the second interview, okay? Or it's a little bit more business casual. This is completely appropriate. And even turn to the back, there's a little fun detail here, okay? So a little something cool for you, okay? It's because, you know, ladies, we like to, I say we, like I'm a lady, but like to dress up a little bit more. Go ahead and turn back around. And do a little bit more something fun. So, you know, there are details that you can put in your wardrobe that still work for work as well. Okay? Awesome. Perfect.
So I was actually going to, can you guys, wait, come back. And then the guys come back out again. We're just going to have you just come out and let us clap for you one more time. You all look fabulous. I hope this was a fun experience for you. You look amazing. And thank you for being our models. If you want to have a seat, we're going to do a raffle and you might win something.
Yeah, did you want to do question and answers?
Yeah, we can do question and answer for sure.
Yeah, let's actually have them stay up here for question and answer.
Okay.
Because maybe people have them.
Yeah, good idea. Questions in the audience. I think you had one. Am I right? Yeah. She answered it already because she's good like that.
Have questions. Come on now. Questions?
I mean, I can spark this conversation. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I would like to buy my boyfriend a nice suit. And I'm really just perplexed with what the price range is for like something or Bobby in the middle. Fabulous, you look great. What does that cost? Something like that. All of it. Shoes and belt.
Actually, the middle one, this is Calvin Klein, I believe.
Oh, nice. I like that brand.
No, actually, this is Tommy Hilfiger, and this is
Tommy.
actually going
Like
for
that.
$649 right now in the store.
$640?
Yeah. We actually have a special going on right now. Men's House, we run it about a couple times a year. You pick one suit, you get the second suit for free.
Oh,
So you buying a good designer suits like this. It's made 100% wool, really fine fabric, all year round. Very slim, very modern look for your husband or your boyfriend. It's perfect in the price, perfect in the look, and it just fit a lot of different purpose.
very nice. Thank you.
I'll speak to the women's side of that one for us specifically. Women's suits tend to range depending on if you go from like us or Banana. It's going to be about $300, okay, and that's going to be for the suit jacket, the pant, and maybe a shirt, okay, and then you're going to go on up to like, let's say you do like a Theory or Hugo Boss suit. That's going to run you $1,000, okay. Two things you want to keep in mind: don't go to pay half, okay. Always buy, so suits in general for everybody, it's an investment. You are gonna spend a little money, okay? If you don't wanna spend 1,000, if you don't wanna spend 300, you need to spend at least 150 for a suit, okay? And I'm just saying that flat out. Because if you don't invest in the right look, you're not gonna look professional, period, okay? So a little money goes a long way in the end, okay? And like we did with the ladies, you can make it versatile, okay? You can wear the pants with something else, you can wear the jacket with something else. Same with the guys, they can switch up their look with whatever else they're wearing, but keep that in mind. So yes, be price conscious, ask for student discounts, ask for what other discounts you can get, okay? Always ask those questions, it's not rude, okay? But remember, you are gonna spend money to look professional.
One thing more, by the way, we have actually a coupon on the table right now, 40% off of anything you're gonna buy from the Mansur House. That's one thing to know. Basically, if I said every suit a person can think can last, maybe say a couple of years. Every suit, by the way, good wool suit, average about 10 to 13 years. So basically, that's something you invest and stay for a long time. Basically, you can dress the suits based the occasions. You can get a different shirt and tie all the time for where you're going. But a suit, as you can say, is something that lasts for a long, long time.
And women's, let's get back to that. I don't believe women's suits, women's fashion is different. Men's suits the fashion trends change a little bit slower than women's. So just keep at least a little bit current, but don't be trending.
For the ladies' suits, I find that I do have a problem with the top and the bottom. So the top part of the suit doesn't fit well like the bottom does. So I'm one of those people that will switch the tops from different suits with the bottom because the two sizes just don't match. So what do you recommend for that?
Okay, so you will never, almost never, some people can, but you're never gonna be the same on the top as you are on the bottom, okay? And that's okay. It's called we're human. Next, shop a brand that fits your body. Okay, keep that in mind, okay? So maybe a Theory suit, it doesn't fit you because you're a little bit more curvy, but maybe a Banana or an Ann Taylor suit fits you better because they have one-button jackets or they have curvy pants or A-line skirts, okay? Find a brand that fits you, okay? Because we all know there's different brands for different people, for different sizes, different shapes. Just because that one brand isn't working for you doesn't mean you can't find something, okay? Do your research. It might take you a little longer. Okay, but it'll be worth it in the end. Another suggestion that I have for you specifically is find a stylist in the store and call and ask. Like Men's Warehouse, they obviously have stylists on hand. We have stylists on hand. Don't be afraid to ask for help because we don't all like shopping. Some of us love to shop, but some of us don't, okay? And we don't always know what's gonna work best for us, especially when it's something that we don't do every day. So ask for help. Don't feel bad about that, okay? Does that help answer your question a little bit more? Yeah. So 2 different sizes is okay. You might be a 10 up here and a 6 down here. That's all right, you know. But just make sure you find something that fits you.
I have a question about footwear. I am tall, and sometimes when I wear heels, I'm taller than other people. What are your thoughts about flats versus heels in an interview and, on the job, right, but maybe in an interview setting?
Okay, good question. My suggestion is, and what I've read and researched, it's best to always wear a heel. But in your case, since you're tall, you don't want to do anything that's like over 2 inches. They do have kitten heels. And depending on your size of your ankle, there are a lot of kitten heels out there that will complement you. So, of course, you're not going to go into an interview with anything over 3 inches. Anything over 3 inches is not professional. You're kind of erring towards a pole. So with that being said, your shoes, if you can wear them in a club, you do not want to wear them in an interview. So nothing over 3 inches. And if you're like over 5'5" or 5'6", I say anything that's like maybe 2 inches. But you should always wear a heel. I think flats, I love flats because I'm hurting right here with these heels on. I think flats make a professional outfit kind of dowdy. It kind of errs on the side of casual. So what I've read, heels are more professional. So 3 inches or less. Emily, 2 inches, come see me.
I will.
Anything else?
You have something? Okay.
Just a little thing to add. Even flat shoes can give you mean calluses if you've never worn them before. So when you're going into an interview, you're going to be walking down hallways, you're going to be meeting people. Make sure you've worn those shoes before, no matter what size the heel is. And I agree with her, do not wear heels that are more than 3 inches tall. You have to be able to walk with confidence, and you can't be crippled by a blister or the fact that your shoes are flapping off your ankle or something. So make sure those shoes fit.
Anything from the men's side?
Men's shoes is pretty straightforward. It goes big.
Of course, it is.
There's a couple of rules of thumb, like which Yasser touched on earlier. If you're wearing a Navy suit, you're not going to wear black shoes. The only people that do that are the military, and they got a lot of guns. They can do it. If you're in a blue suit, wear either a burgundy shoe. A burgundy shoe would be great with a navy, or a brown, anywhere ranging from chocolate to light tan. If you're wearing anything such as a gray, black, or a light brown, which you're starting to see on the modern trend side. If you're wearing a black suit, that's pretty straightforward. I would do a black shoe. As far as styles, square toe are really popular right now, but cap toes are a little bit more professional as far as for interviewing and so on and so forth. Anybody have any questions on that?
I have a question about tailoring. We were just talking about back here in alterations.
Sure.
So off the rack, obviously, some of us are gifted and can just wear things off the rack, and some of us need things shortened or taken in or whatever. Do we do that at the store? How do we do, and how much does it cost? Is it expensive?
Under Men's Warehouse policy, it's not. We're about 20% cheaper than anywhere else. We have tailors in every Men's Warehouse store. Let's say on average, these guys were about $35 a person, which is very minimal. So what will happen is they'll come and get fitted. Like the sleeves will need to be shortened every time I buy a suit. It has to be done, and the bottoms have to be done. I think one of you guys had to get the waist done also. But anytime we do the alterations, we guarantee for life. So say if we do the waist, it's $10 to do. But if they gain or they lose, they can bring it back in and we'll let it out or take it in for free. Also, you get free pressing nationwide. They can bring it in. Say if you got interviewed across the country, bring it in, they'll press it for you. And maintenance, if a button falls off or you rip a seam, that's all covered under our policy also.
I'll do it on the women's side. Women, you have to get everything altered. Okay, if you don't have a tailor, find one that's next to you, because there is a corner tailor shop or alterations or cleaners near you. There's very few places that do offer alterations for women. So if you don't have a tailor, find one. They are your best friend. Okay, and Dina.
Excuse me?
Just to piggyback on what he said, we get a lot of ladies that come into the store and they won't buy something. It can fit perfectly everywhere, but it may need to be taken in the leg, and they'll pass that up so they won't have to get it tailored. What I found is I have a cleaners. I take everything to get tailored because I'm short, and I'm 5'2", and some of the pants may be for a 5'6" person. So do not be afraid to take your pants to the local cleaners. And don't pass up anything that fits well. If you have to get it nicked in the waist or taken up, please invest that money. A cleaners can do it.
Is this working? They could also learn real quick. There's tricks like you can buy iron-on hems. Oh, yeah. So you don't have to, if you're saying, oh, I can't afford to get the tailor, there's iron-on hems, and a blind stitch takes like 5 minutes to learn. I was just at a store over the weekend, and a couple girls, the dress fit them perfect except for the strap. It was just a little bit too long. I mean, that's just folding it in, taking 2 stitches, done. And then my son bought a suit from Men's Warehouse. So back when he was talking, they really do tell them it's a lifetime thing. And that's one reason he went ahead and spent the extra money on the Men's Warehouse suit, because he knows he's going to be changing. He's only 20, and he's like into working out. So he was so excited to find out that the rest of his life, the expensive suit he bought will always be tailored.